What's up guys, Conrad here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about creativity. Now creativity can be a little bit tricky to proactively get good at. When there's no stress or pressure, then spontaneity is absolutely at your disposal. And that's when I find I can do my best creative work and also come up with the best ideas. Now if it's your job to be creative, then you constantly got to forge ideas from scratch. With a content creator on YouTube, for example, every video has got to be interesting, and they've got to be able to do this on the spot in order to maintain and gain subscribers, and hopefully to also make a decent living from it. If you're producing creative content in a timely manner, then it kind of contradicts the notion that you can't rush art. But in the economic world that we live in, where art makes money, then some compromises need to be made, especially with film directors and studios. Trying to be creative is like trying to be sexy or cool or spontaneous. It should just come to you as a natural occurrence within the moment. The words should just pour out onto the page, rather than forced onto it. It's just something that you need to express, and it needs to come out of you. And if it doesn't, then you feel like you're wasting an opportunity to show your unique vision and tell your story. When people ask a talented creative person, where do you get your ideas from? They might usually respond with something like, I don't really know. Ideas just come to me. And that might sound kind of arrogant, like, who does this guy think he is? He believes he's got this God-given talent. Well, actually, it's more like ideas will come to you just by simply listening to the thoughts in your head. So, what kind of things do you think about? What are the recent interesting conversations you've had? And the trick is to be able to hone in on those things on your mind, then write it down, then use it. Things that happen to you in real life is often a source of creative inspiration, so the more significant the experience, the more interesting it will be to others. Everyone has a story to tell, and being able to tell it well will draw an audience, and the more personal the story, the more relatable it is. Many people get very unique and interesting ideas from their dreams, as your brain is producing somewhat of a psychedelic reality. And one example of this is with James Cameron, who from a dream, he had this visual imagery of a metal skeleton, and from this he was able to develop this idea and create the Terminator movie, and which went on to become a film franchise. And the thing with dreams is it's like you yourself are putting yourself in your own movie. It's not plagiarism if it came from you. And you might even impress yourself with the kind of ideas you come up with, like, how the hell did I even come up with this situation, this scenario? These surroundings, these emotions I'm feeling. I've never felt this before. I've never seen any of this before. And these experiences, they're so out of the ordinary. They might as well be a movie. And that's why it's always a good idea to write some of these things down before you forget it. But you could say that your dreams are somewhat influenced by the outside world. And so much of your mental and physical physiology influences and manifests into your dreams. But even so, it is still the perfect inspiration. I've had times in my dreams when I'd hear some very beautiful music, which I've never heard before, and I just wish there was some way that I would be able to record it, just so I could remember it. Even if I wake up straight away, the music starts fading in my head and I end up forgetting it anyway. So there's no point even trying to remember it. I've had some nightmares that were so terrifying that they would be just perfect for a horror movie scenario. Even if you think you've had an unforgettable dream, chances are you're gonna forget it anyway. So there's no harm in just writing it down just in case. Sometimes you might get to a point where you've actually got a really good idea and it's stuck somewhere in the back of your mind, but you just can't recall it. It just disappeared out of nowhere. And it can get really frustrating when you can't remember it. So it could be like a really small point that you wanted to make, or it could be a significantly large idea. So there are two ways that I know of in order to remember what that thing was. And one way is backtracking. So basically retracing your steps. So perhaps you were watching a video when this idea came up, and all you gotta do is rewatch that video, and there might be a certain point within that video that triggers you to remember the idea, because maybe that's when you came up with the initial idea in the first place. Or maybe you were reading something. So all you gotta do is go back on the paragraph that you were just reading recently, and maybe there might be a few words that trigger a response for you to remember exactly what that thing was. And another way is through meditation, or not trying to remember everything. So don't worry about it, don't worry about anything. Just make your mind as blank as you can, let's say, and just focus on your breathing. And when you just do that, just don't think about anything else, what you might find is the idea will come rushing back to you out of nowhere, and it might surprise you, and it's yes, that was the idea. It's kind of weird, but it worked for me as I was writing down the script for this video. Advice for creatives: don't try too hard. Now what I mean by this is, let it come to you. What interests you will find a way to motivate you into action and make you want to show your perspective. Now this doesn't mean being lazy. You've got to be very attentive to your thoughts and use whatever time and energy you have in order to take what's in your imagination and throw it into reality. You might just be going about your day and then you see something and you think, I can use that. I can use that to create something of value or something that's entertaining, just from that circumstantial inspiration. And often when I'm in the process of writing, a new idea will naturally come up because I'm in a flow state, I'm in a good direction. And if you're just starting out, then you don't need to pressurize yourself in order to come up with the next big thing. Unless you have a big idea already, then by all means go all in. But remember that not everyone's gonna like your ideas, and it's not meant to be that way. It's more subjective rather than objective. So what you need to do is use your unique personality and your unique thinking and vision to your advantage. And so what you'll find is that there's probably going to be something for everyone. I gotta say that the act of producing creative content has helped me somewhat maintain my sanity during a lockdown. I have more time with my thoughts, and I'm able to observe how I think, what I think, and what to do with what I think. But anyway guys, that's all I got to say on the topic of creativity. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.